Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morris, the review guy, reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. So in a year where there are a lot of great releases, a tumultuous year to say the least, where everything was a complete and total wreck, full of havoc and chaos and civil unrest, political unrest, social unrest, isolation, pandemics, and everything in between, yes, many great art forms and many great musical albums were created, but some of the batch weren't the brightest flower of the bunch, the sharpest tool in the shed. Whatever analogy you want to use, these are some of the personal albums that disappointed me in the year 2020. Now, a bit of a preface. Basically what this means is these aren't necessarily the worst albums of the year. I actually am not really thinking about making a worst albums of the year list, but these could sort of double over, and if there was a list that I made of the worst albums of 2020 in my opinion, there would be a lot of overlap with this list. There are some controversial picks, some things that I know you guys enjoyed a lot, so be sure to let me know in the comments below what your thoughts of these records are, because I'd love to hear it. And without further ado, let's get into the records that just disappointed me in 2020. And trust me, there's a lot more than this. I'm a tough bastard to please. I just wanted to sort of condense the list to some degree. First up, Pig Destroyer with Octagonal Stairway. Oh my lord, I was so excited for this because even though it was hard on Headcage, I thought that maybe Pig Destroyer was going to bounce back, but whatever drugs they were taking on the formation of this record, I want to have. There's some really strong moments where it feels like they're going back to prominence, but they're so undersold by everything else on the record. That really long track, I can't get through it again. I cannot do it. It would be torture. Strap me to a chair and electrocute me before I have to sit and listen to that. That's what you hear when you enter the gates of hell. I genuinely believe that. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but I personally don't think so. Oh, this is a record that so many people loved and I just didn't understand it. Oceans of Slumber, self-titled album. I don't understand the hype behind this thing, and I went back to it numerous times after the recording and after the release of my review because positive about this record, felt great about this record. So many of you guys really enjoyed and disagreed with my opinion of that record. I think it's so bloated. I think it's over the top. I think it's garish and overwrought and too saccharine for its own good. It feels way too cinematic and theatrical, like it is trying to sound far more epic and like more of an odyssey than it clearly is in my eyes. Gulch with Impenetrable, Cerebral, Fortress. This, don't get me wrong, is a good grind record, hardcore punk record, but got overhyped shitless, and I think that made me sour a bit on it post listening to it, because when I discovered it, I was like, okay, this is getting some buzz, I want to check this out, and I definitely gave it a above average score. I did feel very positively about certain aspects of it, but it was disappointing in the sense of people making it out to be the greatest grind record in 2020, and I just didn't understand that. This one hurts. Bellwitch and Aerial Ruin with Stygian Bough Volume 1. I love Bellwitch so much, and to see a release that just felt so badly produced compared to Mirror Reaper is one of the best records released in the 2010s, and I will fight anyone on that. Best funeral doom metal record, in my opinion, that I have ever heard in my life, and I appreciate the collaboration. I like the folk influence in the singing, but Bellwitch and Aerial Ruin just don't mix that well, and the production sucks ass. It's so bad on this record. Whoever mixed this did not do Bellwitch justice with what they deserve and what they're capable of. We know that for a fact, considering the studio albums from Bellwitch. Next up, behold the Arctopus with Hapeleptic, Overtrove. Oh my lord. What can I say about this record? Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's a wank fest of technicality. Oh, there's no structure to it. It's like one of those, like, I'm trying to be cool because I can play in a weird format type of album, and I feel like people didn't even disagree with me on this. This is one of those records where I understand that there's people that enjoy this band. I mean, if I can give it one thing, it went above and beyond in being above and beyond, but in all the wrong ways. But there are Behold the Arctopus fans out there. They exist, and if you're watching this, keep on it. I respect you for respecting this band. Next up, asking Alexandria with Like a House on Fire. I wanted to like this record. I really did, but I hated it. I hated it so much, and it's just gotten worse in my eyes. There is no redeeming qualities about this record. It took all of the worst parts of their self-titled, none of the good parts, and none of the good parts of their prior records either, and became a arena rock anthem type of thing where they were just trying to make a banger, a radio hit, and it shows so much that they were trying so hard for that radio play and that mainstream popularity in spite of their entire fan base and leaving them behind pretty much. Next up, Napalm Death, Logic Ravaged by Brute Force. You know, with the release of their amazing new record, Rose of Joy in the Jaws of Defeatism, might have forgot that they dropped an EP earlier this year, and while it was a neat taste tester, looking forward, I think it really reeked of some of their worst songwriting, and I was definitely disappointed at the time. I think in retrospect now, it led up to their new record pretty well, but at the time I definitely was disappointed by it. Green Day with Father of All, aka Father of All Motherfuckers. Oh, it is 100% hard, uncut rock. No trap beats, no Swedish producers, and evidently no good songwriting either, or good vocal performance, or good riff writing, or good production on all fronts, or a mixing and mastering job that actually equalizes everything to not sound like some weird ska, skate rock, punk anthem. Perhaps, like, I'm reiterating points that were already said. I'm not going to go over this record, but it's just not worth it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your effort. It's not deserving of anything. It should be burnt at the stake. Yeah. Baader-Meinhof with the self-titled EP. I wanted to see Ghostmane's black metal project be better than it was, because I like that Ghostmane incorporates a lot of metal elements into his rap music and his trap metal music and just whatever you want to call it, but I feel like this is some of the bare bones, most scant, minimalistic black metal that's not even lo-fi in this good sense. It just sounds boring. Maybe in the future it'll be more fleshed out, but I don't know how much he's going to put towards this project in the future, so it's hard to say really. And finally, Undeath with Lesions of a Different Kind. I was really hyped for this record. At the time, I thought this was going to be one of the better death metal records of the year, but once it released, I was just kind of sitting there like, this is just not as good as a lot of people are saying. Kind of like that Necrot record, Mortal, only the Necrot record, I can kind of understand where the hype was coming from, whereas with Undeath, it's just not that good of a record in the grand scheme of all the releases, and that's about it. So, what are some records that disappointed you in particular this year, and what are your thoughts of the records I talked about in this video? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.